if you're sitting at a light, right, in traffic, and the light turns green, and there's someone in front of you, how long are you waiting before you honk at that person if they don't go forward?
3 seconds. It also depends what car it is. You know, if it's a pickup truck, they have a gun in them. So, so I'm not hungry.
That's like getting money, I'm on my thug again. Trying to stack a little dog, trying to catch a win. And next time I drop a coupe, it's gonna be a twin turbo. Always been a G, but I ain't never been a herb though. When I'm switching lanes, they should call it.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Millennial Mentality Podcast. It is your boy Pete. I'm here with Papo Taco, and our guest today is Anthony Baez.
Oh, yo.
We've been trying to link this up for a minute, man. I'm glad we could finally make it happen, dude.
Like a whole year.
Yeah, it really has been pretty close to that. But I'm glad we got you here today, man. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. I'm interested in hearing more about your story. I've known you for a long time. You know, I've been coming to the barbershop for a minute, and I knew you before I even started tattooing. So it's been a while. So I'm excited to kind of get to know you a little better, just because we've always sort of known each other in passing. And I'm stoked to hear your story. So anyway, man, like I said, I've started. I think we met because I was going to your barbershop, Exclusive Barber Lounge, and just like my career has changed quite a bit as we've known each other. It's been cool to kind of watch yours develop over the years, also.
And the growth. I mean, look where you got now, you know?
Yeah, man, super grateful for sure. And same for you, man. And so I want to dive into kind of where you're at today, but I think the right way to start this is probably to kind of go back to the beginning. And you started cutting hair, right?
So I got into cutting hair around 12, 13 years old because my god brother, mostly, he was into it, cutting hair. He's about like 5, 6 years older than me.
Yeah, okay.
So when I was 12, he was 17, 18 already there. And he was cutting hair out of the house. And when friends were coming over and family members, and obviously myself getting haircuts, I would see, the ambience that he had there and people wanting to be there and just kind of, just the boys hanging out.
Yeah, you like the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's cool. And then plus I'm seeing him creating, somebody that's a mess, hasn't had a haircut 2-3 months into someone got, clean,
transformation.
all that. Yeah, that transformation in person is like, damn. For a 12-year-old, that was
Just made
just
that guy look good.
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking about I could do this to make money. I was just I just wanted to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
So, I was at Walmart with my mom, and we went down the deodorant clipper aisle and all that stuff, and I was like, oh mom, I want this clipper. It's $13, and she was giving me a hard time. She's like, no, blah blah. And then I was known when I was younger, giving my mom attitude and whatever. So I remember here at Walmart giving her attitude, I want the clipper.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting the clipper. It was a little $13, cheap clipper, and started going ham with it. And my aunt, may she rest in peace, passed away from cancer.
Damn,
but she was, she was one of the family members that were giving me old clippers and stuff like that, and low key teaching me.
Right.
She wasn't the best at it, but she threw it down, and
sure.
That's what she did. So she gave me my my first real clipper, and then a family member from up north, another barber, told my dad, he's like, hey, he looks like he's really into it, get him some good professional clippers.
Yeah.
And then he told me get the Andis Masters, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
At that time it was $70, I think, $75 or something like that.
Yeah.
Now that clipper is double. I started cutting my, friends in the neighborhood, my cousins, and honestly, I wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
But I was, starting off, and I was hard, pressure and stuff like that. So I was scarring up my cousins and friends and whatever. But the actual line and the fade and all that, it was good. It wasn't too bad. And at 15, fast forward, all those years. That's when I first started working at a barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
At 15?
Damn.
Working at a barber?
Cutting hair?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. A lot of people thought I was older. A lot of people thought I was 17, 18.
Yeah.
But yeah, the barbershop used to be called New York's Finest.
Okay.
It was on 10th Avenue in Jog, where CC's is at. Now it's been bought and sold so many times, and I actually know the barber who just bought it now. It's called Level Up. So yeah.
And so wait, so you were licensed at 15? No, they just were shit. They were cool. Okay. I was wondering.
No, I was not licensed at 15. I got licensed in 2009. I was 18.
Yeah. Okay.
Or so.
In order to get licensed as a barber, you have to actually like attend a barber school or some sort of program, right? You can,
Yeah.
It's not like tattooing where you can just pay and
No.
have the license.
No.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I know that's something that was on my list of things to talk about because SMP is the same way, right? Where
Yeah.
you can just buy the license, sort of.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think that something as temporary as a haircut, you have to go through like 6 months of school to get the license for it. But for something as permanent as SMP or a tattoo, you just pay the county the money and they'll give you the license.
And it's not even much so like that's permanent, but it's like
the health risks and shit
yeah,
too.
you're
You can give
actually
someone
going
diseases.
in somebody's skin.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Haircuts, like, yeah, we could do the same thing, you know.
I guess so, yeah.
Clip up an ear or
but
something.
not as much as tattoo and
Yeah,
permanent makeup
100%.
and all that stuff,
Yeah,
which is crazy.
it's so crazy.
But yeah, average like to go to school right now for barber school here is like 12 to 15,000.
To go to school
Uh-huh.
and graduate. with a
Damn.
degree.
Yeah, so pretty much, yeah, you and then there's grants and stuff.
Sure.
So if it's 15,000, most of the time they, depending on what you qualify for, they pay all of it or they pay half.
Wow. And I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of life, if that's going to be your career, it's a small investment to make. But again, making the comparison to tattooing again, I think it's like $350 to get your tattoo license.
it's not cheaper than that. I think
It's some shit like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like barbering. I mean, the same thing like for SMP. You know, like I tell
Yeah.
people like to take the course is like $5,000, right, on average. Now there's a lot of people messing up the industry.
Yeah.
And dropping down the
So
price.
explain what SMP is real quick before we dive too deep into it for the
Okay.
people that don't know.
So scalp micropigmentation is, in a sense, a tattoo, but it's more in the cosmetic procedure, you know? Kind of like how people, I mean, you could describe it as like microblading or,
Right.
you know, the 3D areola. It lands in that category because we're not going so deep like a tattoo. And plus, we're doing more pointillism rather than tattoo. You put it into the skin and you drag,
Yeah.
you know?
You're just making dots.
Yeah, we're pointillism, and we're only going into the upper layer of the dermis. So tattoo is like past that, you know.
Yeah,
And you know, there's blood and everything involved in tattooing. SMP,
No blood.
rarely.
Wow.
Like if I do see if I do see blood, is like a little speck,
Right.
but it doesn't like leak
Yeah,
or,
yeah, sure.
or continue to come out like some people are. But just like, you know, tattoo, like we tell them they'll have caffeine. If they drink the night before, you could tell, you
Yeah.
know, because the blood
Things that
gets
are going to
thinner.
thin your
Yeah.
blood out.
Do you believe in that though? I've gotten.
I mean, it's science. Yeah, I think it's
I've
just a
gotten
fact.
so many tattoos drunk.
Well,
It's not like
It's not
crazy, like it's
advised.
gonna like pour out.
Yeah.
but-
right. You can. I think plenty of people have done it,
Yeah.
and you know, you advise people to follow those instructions to make it as easy as possible. But yeah, it's not going to make or break whether you can get the tattoo or not. But it definitely biologically makes a difference in the body.
Really? I always thought it was like everyone's like blood type. You know, some people bleed different. Some people.
There's probably a little bit of that too. You know, some people like have thin blood and shit, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of that has to do with their routines and habits. You know, it's
Right.
not the way you were born with thin blood most of the time, unless you have that disease, whatever that's called, where you bleed a lot. But the people who generally bleed a lot, it's probably because they do something on like a regular basis that makes their
Right.
blood thinner.
Yeah,
Like
like-
takes Advil every day or drinks every day.
Like,
You know,
I think energy drinks too, right? They
I
they have
believe it.
Yeah.
Caffeine
They have a
thins
shit
out
ton
blood.
of caffeine.
right? There's not a lot of people that aren't drinking caffeine on a daily basis.
Yeah. I try not to.
I had to quit when I started tattooing because I was like too shaky when I
Yeah.
would go to tattoo.
I remember I used to back. I was like, I don't know, 17, 18. I used to take like fat burner pills, and there
Oh,
was
yeah.
some that was like
Yeah.
Really?
crazy shaking,
That
bro.
was a thing back in the day, dude.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
caffeine I think is usually an ingredient in those also,
Oh, yeah,
right?
for
Because
sure.
it wants to get like your body temperature up and shit like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, bro,
It's-
those things
I-
are gnarly.
The one I used to take is used to be called jet fuel.
Jet
Oh,
fuel?
nice.
Jet
Yeah,
fuel.
that sounds like some shit that would make you shaky.
Yo, but no lie with that, I lost with drinking. I wasn't even like eating healthy at that time. I was just like,
Taking fat burners.
yeah, I was taking fat burners and eating, you know, trying not to eat greasy food and stuff like that.
Sure.
Right.
But I was drinking a gallon. I was drinking a gallon of water every day.
Yeah.
And in 2 weeks, I lost 14 pounds.
14
Damn,
with-
that's
14. yo,
crazy.
I was like, damn, this thing works. Like,
Yeah, holy shit.
Damn.
Shout out to Jet Fuel. If it's
Or-
still on the market, copy some. Not a sponsor, but you could be if you wanted to be.
yeah, right.
Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit before the SMP. At what point did you open Exclusive Barber Lounge?
So Unofficially,
Yes, sure.
2013. Officially, 2016.
Okay, so do we want to go into detail of what that means?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, sure. What's that
So
mean?
where I'm at, I'm in Lake Clark Shores.
Yeah.
And kind of reminds me of this little area, right? That's you kind of hidden, whatever.
Yeah, totally.
Like if you really didn't want to, you didn't have to go out and get licensed and all that stuff, or maybe
Because no one was going to stumble upon it, or like
yeah,
you
unless
weren't like
people complain.
right.
So 2013, that's when I officially got into the building, and I was not where the shop is at right now. I was like inside the building,
Okay.
next to where my S&P studio is at.
Yep.
So I was in that suite, and then 3 months later, where the shop is now, that became available, and it was only like less than $200 out of $200 different.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna take that.
Yeah,
and
right.
it's like
Shit.
it's like twice as big, and I got my own entrance to the outside and all
Right.
that, and I got windows. It doesn't feel like
Yeah,
I'm in
sure.
a jail cell, because I would go in like 9 o'clock in the morning and be out 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and it's like you don't see nothing.
Right.
And it sucks. You go in the daytime and you come out, it's nighttime. Like, oh great.
Yeah. 100%.
But so to pass like the inspection and all that, you need to have plumbing. So I
Yeah.
never filed the paperwork or anything like that because I knew I was gonna pass it. I didn't have plumbing in my suites.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, I need to get my business license and all this crap, and like get rocking and rolling. So I figured we figured out a way. We talked to the landlord, my uncle,
Yeah.
that we had to do, and 2016 that's when I applied for the business license. So that's what I'm saying. Unofficially,
Yeah,
2013,
sure.
But it was
officially
open
2016.
2013 for haircuts.
Yeah.
Officially.
But I was only there by myself. So
Oh,
this
really?
was
It's
yeah.
like
so
a private studio almost.
what?
Like a private studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I named it exclusive.
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, one of my clients actually, well, he's like a family friend. I was like, man, I don't know, like,
What do I name it?
yeah, what do I name this or whatever? I don't want to name Anthony Barbershop or
No, right.
you know what I mean?
I
Like,
feel you.
or AB Barbershop. I didn't want Barbershop at all. Like it
Yeah.
just sounded played
Yeah.
out already. So I thought the Barber Lounge, and because I had like that loungy feel, I had like the what's that show? Like the casting call couches. Like the
Are we talking about the porn show? Because that's
Yeah.
what I know casting couch from.
yeah. So it's like those porn
great.
casting couches style.
Yeah.
Like
I got one of those right over here, actually. That's what's leaned against the wall.
So that's what I had, and so it had like that loungy
Yeah.
feel, like chill,
Yeah.
And then he was like, man, how about just exclusive, because it has like the exclusive vibe. You don't know you're here unless
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I'm like, but exclusive, like, I don't want barbershop. And then he was like, how about Barber Lounge? I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I created actually the website like within a week with this guy named Ricky. He owns Zapitos. I don't know if you heard of Zapitos. He was
Oh, the taco place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he actually just opened up a new spot, but he helped me create the logo. I mean, he did the logo, but I pretty much told him everything.
Yeah, right.
Like what I wanted to the
Yeah.
T, and we didn't have to redo it or nothing.
One and done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Which
That's how guys are.
Okay, so in 2013, when you opened the shop up, how long had you been cutting hair for at that time?
I don't know.
So, all right, so
I'm
how old
bad
were
at
you
math.
when
I
you
was like 12, 13 years old. I'm 31 now.
How old were you in 2013?
10 years ago. 21.
Okay, yeah, there you go,
21.
Kev.
Gotcha.
The mathematician
I
of the
got you.
group.
He's in construction, so he's
Yeah,
always dealing with
Okay, bet.
measurements.
So at that point, I mean, you had been cutting hair for a good amount of time, and had you just built up clientele from working at the other shop, and they kind of
yeah.
followed you over to your new spot?
Yeah, for sure. So at 15, I was working at that barbershop, New York's Finest,
Yeah.
which at that time it was supposed to be like New York's Finest 2. It was supposed to be the second location.
Okay.
My cousin, he opened it up with like a business partner. That's how I got in too, because it's my cousin.
Okay,
Right,
bet.
And I was cutting hair after school, so usually inspectors don't be going
Right,
in
Coming in
right.
after 4 or 5. Yeah,
and
they're
then,
going home.
And then weekends they don't come at all, so that's when I was going,
Yeah.
Is that common?
Now? No.
Yeah. Not
No.
anymore.
I mean, like unlicensed? Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a whole bunch of unlicensed barbers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to pay or go to school. They're cheap, or they think they rather pay $15 for a verified blue check rather than their license.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's on my list of topics as well.
Yeah, that was in my head to talk about too.
Yeah, 100%. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2013, you opened the shop up, and at what point do you start bringing in other artists and stuff? I mean, other barbers.
So the main purpose to me opening up exclusive was I never wanted to own a barbershop.
Yeah, sure.
Never ever. Like even people were like, oh, clients, oh, what's your plan? You want to open up your own barbershop? I'm like, nah. Like for what? Because at that time, one, I didn't see the vision of it, and because of the people running the shops that I was in, it was sloppy.
Yeah.
It wasn't like business. It wasn't ethical. It was.
So the only image you got wasn't good.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like for what? To have all this headache of all these trash barbers, like they don't give
Coming in.
yeah, like they don't
leaving,
care about
yeah.
your business, selling weed, getting high.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
need that. You
Not
know what I mean?
showing
Like I
up.
rather not showing up. I rather just make my money and be out.
Right.
Which I mean still goes on, but
Yeah, sure.
not in my barbershop.
The tattoo industry is kind of the same way. That was always the vibe that I wanted to create with this place, was making it kind of like a higher standard in the tattoo industry. And again, not speaking for every tattoo shop and every artist, just like I'm sure you're not saying every barbershop and every barber
No, of
acts
course
that
not,
way.
yeah.
But more often than not, in my industry, we don't have the best reputation of being super reliable, or like every shop that you walk into, you kind of get the same image of it's just a box with as many stations as they could squeeze into a room,
Yeah.
some aggressive music playing, maybe flash art all over the walls, and artists don't necessarily have the reputation of being like the most hospitable or friendly and outgoing people. It's more of just like, oh, what do you want? And then, they bang them out and get them out of there.
Yeah.
And I always kind of, that wasn't the vibe that I was really going for. I wanted to kind of change that and take like the experience that I had in the hospitality industry and apply that to this, where it was more of a comfortable experience, and taking something that's already intimidating, which is getting a tattoo because it's permanent and you're putting this trust in someone you may or may not know very well,
Yeah.
which is intimidating to think of as it is, but giving them at least a comfortable environment to walk into and hopefully assure them a little bit that, they picked the right place, because I kind of felt the same way. Every tattoo shop I'd walk into sort of felt like the same cookie cutter concept, and that just sort of became like the industry norm, which it wasn't really what I wanted for myself.
Yeah.
So what made you change your mind? How'd you end up bringing more people in and ultimately opening the best barbershop in Palm Beach County?
Legit.
Yeah. Yeah. How many years in a row have you won that? Or how many years total?
So, since it got introduced to Palm Beach County, because USA Today owns Palm Beach Post,
Okay.
and they obviously own 30, 40 other cities, publications like that. They started in 2019,
Okay.
and since then we've been on the top 3 for the past 5 years, and we won number 1 for the past 4 years.
Damn,
Jesus.
dude, that's so sick. That must feel pretty good, bro.
It does, because all of Palm Beach County. If you think about
Yeah.
it,
There's
we're-
so
we're-
many
We're talking
barbershops.
about Jupiter, or
Yeah.
even Vero Beach. They consider that as
Yeah.
Palm Beach County. So stuff in
I
Vero
think
Beach
Delray is
to
Delray
Loxahatchee
considered?
Oh
to
my
Boca.
God. That's crazy.
That's a big Wellington, all that.
Do you have any idea how many barbershops are in that region?
How do you
It's-
win that?
You
Is
gotta
it
get
based on the
nominated.
artists,
No, you
or-
gotta get nominated. So it's people who in the Palm Beach Post are active or whatever, readers. They go and nominate. Obviously, when I first found out about it, I told my clients hey, can you nominate
right.
us and whatever, and family and friends and all that, and they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then
Right.
That's
Just took off
sick,
from
bro.
there.
That's
Yeah,
quite the
I never
accomplishment.
knew that.
Yeah.
That's fucking.
That's
and then
awesome.
for a small shop, my shop is only 4 chairs.
Yeah, right.
We're
Exclusive.
yeah. I think we're probably the smallest shop in
Palm Beach County.
Yeah, aside from the solo barber shops,
Sure,
like the salon suites style, but
Yeah, right. That's cool, man. Good for you. That's
which I'm like the OG
yeah.
of that. I guess I would say in
Really?
Palm Beach County with Solo Salon and Phoenix Suites, all those little suites, they've been around for a minute.
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
But it hasn't became popular. It started becoming popular after I had my suite, because if I knew about that, I probably would have gone into one
Gone
of
that
those.
route.
You know?
Yeah, I looked at a few of those too before I got this space, and it's a cool concept that they have. For those people who don't know, it's basically like a giant commercial space where they've split it up into a bunch of really small suites.
They're about depends which company you go with. It's 110 square feet to
Yeah.
That's tight.
125.
It's
That's
small,
the
man.
small, and then the double units, they're 150, 160.
Yeah.
Damn.
But it's for people, in my industry and Anthony's industry, people that do eyelashes, eyebrows, all sorts of shit like
anything in beauty.
that. Right, sure.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the more
they've
you
got
can
a
pack,
ton
the
of
better.
units in this one space that, artists who work by themselves can go in and and rent out, which it's a really good concept, and I'm not knocking it at all. I was just fortunate that this opportunity came about, and I was able to acquire this space for.
Yeah, I mean, imagine paying. The average is about like $350 a week, so imagine paying $1,400 a month for 120 square feet spot.
A space a third of the size as this for more than what I pay for this.
But it makes sense for some people, especially like stylists.
Yeah, sure.
Stylists. I mean, even tattoo artists, because if you go to a tattoo shop, you're on commission most of the time.
Right.
So it's like if you're a busy artist and
you have your own clientele.
Yeah, you have your own clientele and you have a name for yourself and you're tired of the owner's bullshit, but you don't want to open up a barbershop, a tattoo parlor or whatever.
Yeah.
That's chump change.
Yeah, it's a great move.
Because if tattoos, they usually people charge by hour or by piece now, or
the artist or the shop.
I guess both. I don't know.
So artists, it goes either way. Some people charge by the piece, some people charge by the hour. I think by the hour is probably the more common way to go. And then shops usually charge a percentage of what the artist makes. Where I think that's different from a barbershop typically. Usually they pay rent for the chair. Is that right?
Yeah. So 9 times out of 10, if you go to a barbershop, aside from supercuts and stuff like that, or those corporate places.
Yeah, right.
Most of the time, the barbers are paying booth rental.
Yeah. So it's just a flat rate for the month?
For the week.
For the week.
Yeah. So the average right now, I would say, is probably between $200 and $250.
Okay.
A week.
$1,000 a month.
But I mean, if you're a booming barber, then that could be great. Where I think a lot of tattoo artists would maybe prefer that also, because if you're an artist that has your own clientele and is super busy, you'd rather know that you've got a fixed rate for your chair. Yeah, and then if I get busier and make more money in the future, it's not like I'm paying more of that percentage.
Yeah, but as a business, it doesn't make sense.
No, as a business owner, it doesn't make sense.
It's just real estate,
Yeah, right.
So I recently switched from booth rental into commission.
Yeah.
Where are we? 2023 and the end of 2021.
Yeah.
And then all of last year was my first year being all commission.
Well, especially it makes sense for your shop because with the accolades that you have and the reputation that the shop has and winning those awards, it's almost like your barbers that work there are going to grow just from working in your place, because of the reputation that it has.
Yeah.
And it only makes sense for you as the owner of the business to be able to benefit from that also, because you're kind of getting their name out there as well to a certain point. And I think that's kind of the way the shops operate also. The reason that they are usually percentage based is because it incentivizes the shop to build up their artists and give them more business and encourage their artists to grow and do better because the shop is right there with them as that happens.
Yeah. And then how I have it set up is for the barbers, because I told them I'm not trying to get rich off or be greedy, So it's I have it to where it depends on their performance, on how many heads they cut in a week. Mm-hmm. They can make up to, I think I have it up to 90%.
Yeah, cool.
Wow, that's fire.
But they need to
the more heads they cut, the higher their percentage that they keep.
So it depends. For example, 0 to $500 is X amount, and then if they reach $2,000 or more, then it reaches up to the
that makes sense.
Yeah,
I like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. And I don't make them. Oh, you gotta sell products. I mean, in a perfect world, yeah, but it's most of our clients are weekly, bi-weekly. Even the clients that come once a month, how can you sell a product
to the same person
every week, every 2 weeks? There's only so much stuff,
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense.
But yeah, so going back to the barbershop.
Yeah.
So before getting into exclusive in 2013, I stayed at that one barbershop in 10th and Jog when I was 15. I stayed there when I was 15, and I left right before 16. So I was there for 10 months.
Okay.
And then I went to the main location, which was Lantana and Congress, real popular back then. We had 22 barbers in that barbershop. Yeah, still to this day, I think is one of the biggest.
Wow.
Well, it's not there no more, but it's so we had 22 of us, and that's when haircuts was $15, 20 with the beard. And all of us were eating, and rent at that time was $225. That was the highest.
Yeah.
Even now, you still got shops charging like 150, 175, like still.
Wow. But that place was just booming. Like there was,
Yeah,
it was just busy.
It's a dope ass location.
Yeah.
And at that time, there wasn't that many barbershops like there is now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially like with talented barbers. We were all talented and knocking out haircuts, bro, left and right. Like I was making, after paying my booth rental and still in school, like at least like $1,200 a week.
How old were you?
So, like 17.
Yeah, that's sick. And how many
16,
heads is that?
16, 17. How many what?
How many heads? Like how many people you think you're seeing a day?
I don't know, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
It's pumping them.
Yeah. Like Saturdays, I would go early. I would be there like 9 o'clock, stay until 10.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of heads. I would make the majority, obviously, like Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, sure.
And because I would get out of school, I think it was like 2:30 high school.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or 2, and then go straight there.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is I never promoted myself in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people like when we graduated, like, you know, hey, what you gonna do? What school are you going to? I'm like, oh, I'll probably go to, you know, Palm Beach Community College at that time.
Sure.
That's what it was
Yeah,
called.
PBSC. PBS.
Why weren't you promoting yourself?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just like in school, and like people who knew I cut hair, and then
Sure.
you know, I went to school in Palm Beach Central, which is in Wellington. I was working at Lantana and Congress.
Not close by.
These people are not gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's like one of the reasons. And then I didn't want like, oh, come to my house, or oh, can I go to your house? Because I live like down the road. I'm like nah, bro. Like you want to see me, come to the shop.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
like I'm not gonna go back and forth and all
Sure,
this,
yeah.
like,
Especially if the shop is already so busy that you don't really need
yeah.
the additional clientele.
Yeah. So I was there. I don't know exactly what year I left, but I ended up being there for at least like 5-6 years.
Okay.
Damn.
I mean, everything just happened quick. So it's like that shop, like the owner, he was real greedy, and that's why
Business
everything
collapse?
went left. Yeah, everything went left, and I stuck around until, you know, as much as I could. And then I went to, once I left that barbershop, it was like I was jumping to barbershop, because I couldn't find like something I was comfortable at, you know, like everywhere it was just either too ghetto or wasn't my vibe. It was like too like Spanish,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, and
No, I know what you mean.
there's some barbershops out there, man. Like the owner's in particular, I was there for like maybe 2-3 months.
Yeah.
And that's when I went to, and I was like, man, I gotta find something. And then there, like, I passed by this one spot, and you know, they had like a big sign, like, lease offices from like $300 a month or whatever. I was like, $300 a month, that's like what I pay almost in a week.
Right,
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like, I'd rather do that.
Right.
So that's when I started searching, and then that's when I found the spot. And
Wow.
it was, my first rent was like $530 a month.
Damn,
Which I was saving
bro.
money.
Yeah, dude.
That's
what I mean?
crazy.
Saving a shit ton of money.
Yeah, and it was like,
It's like half off.
yeah, it was like 300 square feet.
Even still, that's so cheap, bro.
Yeah.
You
And
can't
then-
find that today.
No, hell no.
That's
And then,
crazy.
It's a gold mine.
yeah, so that's why I was like, fuck it, like, I'm gonna do this. And my mom, she always never supported me.
Really?
Cutting hair, yeah, never.
Why
Really?
not?
She just thought it wasn't in her eyes like a profession,
Okay.
like, or like like it wasn't like real money.
Yeah.
In fact, I left cutting hair, like I left the barbershop and everything in 2012,
Okay.
and I worked for Chase for
Oh,
like
yeah?
8-9 months, and then I was still cutting hair, but at my parents' garage where I started,
Mhm.
and there I had my clientele already. I decked it out. We had AC and like it looked
Nice.
nice, you know. So I would go from Chase working part time as a teller, making, I forgot how much I was making, but I would go back home and I would make what I would make in a week and one day after work.
Yeah.
But it was
I
good
believe
benefits
it.
too.
Yeah, dude.
So-
I'm sure
Yeah,
Bank
sure.
benefits
That
are
was my
nice.
first legit paycheck job
Yeah.
at that time.
Damn.
It was a teller, and yeah. So I lasted 8-9 months. I was going to school too, so it was like I had a lot going
Yeah,
on.
sure.
And Chase, ultimately the manager there, freaking bitch.
Shout out, bitch.
Yeah, she don't work for them no more. She got fired like a couple months afterwards, but she was a manager, and she was like one of the managers like to the book.
Yeah.
Like, oh, section fucking thing, page 32, you got to do it like this, like.
Yeah.
Fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, so she pretty much gave me the ultimatum. She's like, oh, are you going to continue going to school or are you going to continue working here? I'm like, are you going to refund me what I paid for this semester? Because I didn't get no grants, no nothing. I was paying
Sure.
for school.
Yeah.
Like my grandma wasn't my mom. Like it was all me.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. And I'm like, well, I guess I gotta leave.
School it is.
Yeah, because it's like I just paid like I think it was like 13 or 1,500 bucks or whatever
Yeah.
for the semester. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, fuck that.
And I didn't even continue going to school. I think I did like 2 years worth of it.
Yeah.
Maybe
what I did.
a couple credits away from getting an AA or something. That was just like dumping money. Like,
Yeah, sure. I
you know what
understand.
It's like,
And at that time, I mean, in the back of your head, were you thinking that once you graduated college, you were like, did you have a plan of what you really wanted to do, or was it always, I'm just gonna open my own barber studio?
I never thought about opening a barber studio or a barbershop.
Yeah,
I was just like, I'm making money, and
you're just
Going
going
with
with
the
it
flow.
day by
yeah,
day.
I was going with the flow. And I had an idea of like, oh, I'm gonna go, be a nurse and whatever. They make good money, and I could still cut hair.
Sure.
It was the only work X amount of days. And then I did have a thought in high school, like before going to college, like, oh, I should go to school for to become a firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, I didn't do it because everyone was like, it's hard to get in. You gotta wait years. And blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. So I was like,
I feel like that's
I
the
did the
normal
same
thoughts
thing.
everybody has.
I went to Tallahassee to go to school to be a firefighter, and I wasn't cutting hair, but I was selling drugs on the side, and I wound up getting in trouble selling drugs. And same deal, like knowing how hard it was to already get hired as a firefighter. As soon as I had this felony on my record, I was
Yeah.
like, well, now I'll never get hired. So I just came back home and I got back to work. But I feel you. I mean, it is even still today a super competitive industry, and
no, now it's like easy to get in. Like they need people.
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, like they need people for nursing. Like back then, it was like hard to get into nursing
Mm.
because they had like
Right now, yeah,
like an
nurses
abundance
you
of
need.
people like applying to be a nurse. But now it's like easy to be a nurse. Now it's easy to be a firefighter.
It's
Easier.
still a tough
It's still
criteria,
tough,
though.
But yeah,
They might need people, but it's still
They're
like
just hiring.
you're
more.
going through, 8 months to a year of school, almost 6 months at the least, and then like the process of getting hired is like almost like a cop. Like you gotta do
you gotta take a psych test and all that.
all that shit. Which with again my
got
criminal
hired to
history,
become a
I didn't
cop.
think I was gonna pass.
Yeah,
So they have high standards. I guess maybe is my
No, they don't.
not now.
okay if you say so.
I got hired to become a cop, and I was still trapping. And and I hope my dad doesn't see this. So I got this job, become a cop in Doral, Miami, and I took it. I accepted the job. I was like, finally, I'm done bartending. I get hired, but I was still making a lot of money selling weed on the side. So I get hired, and at one point they're like, "All right, you passed all your background," because until today I have nothing.
Did you
else.
do the lie detector?
No, that's why I was like, bro, when they told me how to do the polygraph, I was like,
Yeah, I don't think this job's for me.
Oh,
me
so you
anymore.
didn't get through all the stages then?
I
though?
got hired. They like chose me out of like 40. They chose.
Yeah, you would have
4
failed the
guys.
fuck out of that polygraph, though, bro.
I would have fucking failed that. I would.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
And the salary was so bad. It was like $38,000
Jesus.
starting. I was like, no shot. $15 an hour to become a cop in Miami.
Yeah,
Are you
crazy.
kidding me?
No chance.
Especially Miami. That's
Yeah, dude. I was like,
dangerous.
there's no shot I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
funny
in,
that you
in my
went through
head,
that.
like cutting hair, it was like, man, I'm making pretty good. I was making when I left high school, I was making like $1,500 almost every week
Yeah,
after
it's
paying
great.
my rent. I was living with my parents. So I was
Low
buying,
overhead.
Banking.
yeah, so I was buying whatever the hell I wanted
Yeah.
and saving tons of money and so it was like my thing was like I'm just gonna freaking
Yeah.
continue cutting hair. Like what else can I ask for? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, sure.
I mean, yeah, they have benefits and stuff, but as barbers, I don't know, tattoo artists too, we only make like $20,000 a year.
Yeah. Just filed my taxes.
I stopped doing
Times are
that. though.
tough right now, brother.
No, I stopped doing that. But yeah, a lot of barbers we only do the minimum
Yeah, right.
and
Yeah.
whatever and
Well, now it's hard too, cause like everything is
That's why a lot of
turning
barbers-
digital.
yeah, but that's why a lot of barbers they don't own homes. That's
Yeah.
why they have cards on the baby mamas or cousins
Right.
and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, or they
Oh,
don't,
yeah,
they
'cause
don't
they
got no
show
credit.
minimum.
They don't make money.
Right.
How can you afford a house and stuff like this? So
Yeah, 20 grand.
especially then, everything was cash.
Right.
There was no Square or.
But that's the
there
thing
was
too.
cash
Is like
back
I
then.
I take some people pay in cash, but it's hardly ever. I mean, almost everything's
Now.
done through Zelle.
Yeah.
Everything's
Oh,
done
can I
through
Zelle you,
Venmo
bro?
and Cash App. Yeah.
Cash App, yeah.
I get people think that it's a cash business, but I rarely get cash anymore. Okay, so let's get into SMP then. At what point did you make the switch from cutting hair to doing SMP instead? What made you make that choice?
The pandemic, 2020. So 2020 came around. That's when the lockdown happened, and shops were affected. I think we had to shut down like 6 to 8 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but it's somewhere around there. So that's when I remodeled the barbershop. And then after I was done remodeling, because I did it like I think the week before we officially got shut down.
Right.
And then because I don't know we were gonna shut down. You know what I mean? That was like
Nobody
last-
did.
yeah.
March 16th.
Dang, you know.
That was the day?
Yeah.
Damn, dude,
I was
you're
at 20
scarred.
weeks.
And then so I was like it was done super quick, and I remember one of my buddies that I follow on Instagram, he posted something about it, and I'm like, oh bro, like who did you go and get taught with? Because I know it was in Florida. And he's like, oh, is this guy over here in Naples? And he sent me his thing. I hit him up, and I'm like, hey, are you willing, like, are you teaching, like, whatever? He's like, oh, my next class is in May. I think that was in March or April, right, the lockdown? Or you said March what?
Yeah, March 16th.
Yeah, so I hit him up either, like, the end of March. I hit him up in the end of March.
Yeah.
Because I took the class, like, April, in the mid-April or something like that.
Yeah.
And so it's been 3 years officially that I've been doing SMP.
Nice.
And
Congrats.
then 3 long years.
Yeah.
And so I hit him up, and he's like, "Oh, I'll have a class in May." And I'm like, "Bro, I want to do it now. Like we're in a lockdown. I got no COVID. I'll take a COVID test if you want. Like,
Right.
whatever." He's like, "All right, come, but let's do it in 2 days instead of 3."
Nice.
I'm like, "All right," but he's like, "You need to bring your own model." I'm like, "Shit, all right." I'm looking through my things, like who can I client wise, like who can I bring? And I hit up my boy, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm down." I'm like, "Bet."
Hey, I've been looking at that hairline every time I cut your hair.
Yeah, it's like it's going back and back, bro. Let's bring it down.
Damn.
Shout out to that guy. You're a real one.
Yes. And he agreed or whatever, and then I went. We did the 2-day course, and I got certified.
Yeah.
And just kept practicing on the melons, on the fake skin. We practice on honeydew melon. That's like one of our thing. Fake skin, not so much, but
Because it's not the right shape. Is it better to be doing the round melon?
I guess. I mean, it feels more comfortable.
Yeah, sure.
Rather than the fake skin.
Because that's you're used to someone's dome.
Yeah, and then plus the honeydew melon is soft.
Yeah,
so it's
sure.
Like, with the fake skin, it's like
It's forgiving.
It's almost harder.
You can dig into that thing
Yeah.
and not even know that you're doing anything wrong.
yeah. So if it's more for pressure, because the fake skin, if you go with that pressure on the real skin, is like you're not gonna do nothing.
Right,
Like,
right.
The melon is like real. It's not.
That makes sense.
It's not forgivable. It's like one little thing is like it stays there.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, the fake skin is like these silicone sheets that you can practice tattooing on, and I mean, I guess people don't practice SMP on it so much, but a lot of people in the tattoo industry, when they're first learning, will use these fake skin silicone sheets.
They even got fake hands and fake
Yeah,
heads
sure.
and
You
all
can
that.
get like an arm
Yeah.
and do like a fake sleeve and stuff like that, but it is super forgiving in the sense where it is just a rubber sheet, and if you're going way too deep with your pressure, there isn't really a way to know that, compared to when you're tattooing a real person. Obviously, the pressure is like the most important part.
Yeah.
So it's good to get, it's good for practice in the sense of getting comfortable with the machine and just the mechanics, I guess, practicing like doing straight lines and shit like that. But when it comes to the pressure, it's too forgiving in the sense where you really aren't getting a good comparison to what real skin's like.
Yeah. So I was practicing. I didn't practice as much, like how I tell people to practice.
Sure.
Which I know is like kind of like a hypocrite or
Yeah.
whatever. But with me, I learn by doing. That's how I learned cutting hair and
same,
and
dog.
doing. Even like cutting hair, like bringing it back. Like my first double edge up at that time, that's what it was in.
Oh yeah, I remember those days. Yeah.
So my aunt taught me, I guess. I asked her because at that time she was doing a lot of Mexicans, Guatemalans, South American. It was real popular with them. Like they liked that style.
You ever get a double edge, Kev?
I don't think so. Not with this hairline.
Yeah. Okay, I understand.
So
We might need a consultation while you're here.
sure.
Please.
So I asked her. I was like, hey Thea, like, how do you do these like double edge ups? They come out so good. And she's like, do you know how to do an edge up? She's like, I'm like, yeah. So okay, just go back a little bit from that one and
Do it again.
Yeah, just follow it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So
How'd your first couple turn out?
Oh, good.
Nice. Okay,
That came
good.
out good. Like
Yeah.
my first mohawk at that barbershop that I went to. That first barbershop was also a good friend of mine. His name's Mark Marrero.
Yeah.
He's barber to like P Diddy and DJ
Damn,
Khaled now,
fire.
and like
Cool.
he's a celebrity barber now. He forgot about the little people. That's who normally cuts my hair. He hasn't cut my hair in a while though. But he's a little older than me, so he was like 19 and I was 15.
Yeah.
And I went to him like, yo, Mark, like how you do a mohawk? You know, like mohawks were in too. And he's like, okay, so you see how you do the guideline with a fade and all that? It's like the same thing, but instead of going like, you know, straight, just start from the temple and make it round, and then, you know, shave all that hair off and then just blend that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes
This
sense.
is a barbershop, bro. Like this
Yeah.
is like not working out of my. It was a walk-in.
Yeah.
It was my first time doing a legit mohawk. I fucking spent like 45, 50 minutes. I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like I was a kid at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Kid cutting the
Kid,
kid.
yeah. But I did it, and then like when he left, like all the barbers was like, "Yo, you killed that shit. That shit came on
Nice.
fire." I'm like, "Man, this is my
Yeah.
first one."
Yeah. Good
So
shit.
like that's how I learned, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like, so with SMP, it's like I was just hitting up my friends and family and friends, like, yo, like I got you, brother. I won't even charge you, you know, like let's do it. Like I bet, because when I saw too, I wasn't terrible at it. Like I saw what horrible was, like fucked up work, and I
Yeah.
saw that I wasn't doing that. So that's why I had like the confidence already, like, you know.
And so, in the beginning of the episode, you explained a little bit what SMP was, but when someone comes to get an SMP procedure done, what is it you're usually evaluating? I mean, we've joked about it already. It's like a hairline thing, but you explain it in your words.
Yo, you're looking.
Well,
Is
you'll
everybody
find out
looking-
why when
is
we do the
everyone looking at
consultation
me?
later.
So pretty much it's for people who are losing hair currently, like
Not
hair
me.
thinning or hair loss. It could be for both men and women. It could be because of genetics. It could be because of stress, alopecia. So male pattern baldness is a form of alopecia.
Okay.
Like that's what Will Smith smacked Chris Rock, right?
Yeah.
Chris Rock for because of making fun of his wife.
Oh,
Alopecia.
that's alopecia?
Supposedly she has alopecia.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's different forms.
Got it.
There's the permanent one. There's and then there's a whole bunch of what's it called? Like names for it.
Yeah, okay.
Like there's alopecia areata, and
Right.
Oh, okay, it gets deep.
I can't pronounce most of them. That's why I just say alopecia. as a
Yeah,
general.
gotcha.
So there's alopecia that's like temporary. Like I had a cousin of mine. He suffered for a little bit. Like it'll start off with a little patch like that little.
Yeah.
And then it grew up to like that big.
Where you just don't have hair
on the
there?
side. Yeah, completely bald, and then it grew back after a couple months. You start growing like clear, like legit clear hair, and then it
Whoa.
starts growing white, and then it goes back to your normal color. But there's people that don't have hair at all.
Yeah.
Those are the people that don't have the eyebrows or
Sure.
they don't grow nothing,
Yeah.
and it's not something that you're born with. It could happen at 30, 40, 50.
Yeah.
Just
There's
random?
Yeah, just random. It's
Wow.
a more of an autoimmune disease
Yeah.
system because it's
Okay.
like it's your body thinking that your hair is foreign.
Mm.
So it's just like tattoos, you know, that's why tattoo fades and
Sure.
and stuff like that because your body metabolizes it and whatnot. So it's like it thinks the hair is foreign and it attacks the hair and it kills the hair follicle.
That's
so it's the
interesting.
same thing with male pattern baldness, which is more DHT. So DHT only affects men, and male pattern baldness it has a pattern to it, you know. So it's either you're receding your hairline or going back, or sometimes the crown, or sometimes all of it, you know.
Yeah.
So there's a scale that we use called the Norwood scale. It has 1 through 7, and 1 is someone really not dealing with hair loss, and then 7, someone top off completely
Right,
with the
right.
horseshoe in the
Top
back.
off,
Yeah.
The drop top. All right, so, okay, Kev, can we do this on camera?
Yeah.
All right, show the man your head. Is this something, is
Do I
he a
need an
SMP
SMP?
candidate?
So, all right, so look, I'm Colombian, man.
What does that matter?
But my dad's side was Norwegian, so I got this European hairline.
Okay.
Plus me with a great beard fucked me in the head. It's been like this since like 7th grade. But all my friends always joke like, "You're gonna go bald. You're gonna go bald."
It's been like that since same hairline since 7th grade?
Dude,
Or
I
receded a
went
little
to a
bit?
barbershop. All right, so I'm putting this back on. When I first came to America, dude, everyone was getting the fades, right?
Yeah.
Like, I came to America, I didn't have a fade. I had Justin Bieber haircut. And I was like, man, I want to get a fade. All my friends had fades. I literally went and got a fade, and the barber was like, no, I'm not doing that. he
do
like
it to you.
picked my ears, like, nah, man, just keep what you got. And then that's when I knew, like, I had a bad hairline.
Huh.
But I've also heard, like, SMP, it's obviously... It's not a hair transplant.
No.
So it would work if I shaved my head, right? I would have to shave my head.
Yeah, so
like
that's
the
why
process
most of
would be
Yeah, so that's why most of the time you see people who have SMP, they have a buzz cut,
Right.
Or a bacon it or whatever, is because there's one of two things, right? So we could do SMP on hair density, right?
Okay.
So that's if like someone has fine hair, like Asian hair, like even if they have a number 8 on top, full of hair, you can still see their scalp,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they have thin hair. So if they want it more
so
dense,
James has.
Does he?
Yeah.
so if they want it more dense, then they use hair fibers and stuff like that. So if they want it more dense, they could get SMP.
Sure.
And the only reason why you have to shave it is if you want to bring down your hairline, that's where you got to shave it. Or if if this is like fully bald, like
Right.
smooth bald, then you got to get SMP because you're gonna see that transition.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever got like hair enhancement from a barber?
Nothing. I've
Like
never
the-
done
What's hair
any-
enhancement? Like the
Like-
powder?
yeah, like the hair fibers
Yeah,
or like the spray, like the hair
Right.
dyes, like how DJ Khaled does.
No.
Like on the beard,
On his
that's why
beard?
it's- yeah.
I've gotten that on the beard once,
Okay.
but I don't know why he did that. I have a nice beard.
Yeah, you got a
but-
nice beard.
This is to sharpen it up.
yeah.
This is to enhance it. It's supposed to enhance it, but a
Yeah,
lot of barbers
he brought
they
it
use
up
it.
higher, and it made it look good, but that's it. That's all I've gotten.
Yeah. So imagine doing hair enhancement on where you don't have a beard, and
Okay.
they bring it up. So if they bring it up to where you have hair, it'll look good. But if you don't have hair there, you're gonna see that difference. Because hair is 3D, it sticks out.
Right. There's
You
no
know,
texture for the
Yeah,
enhancement.
so
part.
the same thing for SMP and tattoos is 2D. It's flat. So it's like that's why if you have a tattoo, you could see the hair coming out from it.
Sure.
So that's but if you buzz it down, you won't. It'll blend in with the SMP because SMP is supposed to mimic hair follicle.
Yeah.
So that's why everybody's hair follicle is different from African American, white hair, textured hair, Asian hair. It's all like the diameter of the hair is different. So it's
Right.
like I won't use the same needle I would use on you on someone who's black,
Right.
or the same color of ink, obviously, because you're more of like a brown ginger.
Yeah.
Black hair is black hair, So it's like
Right.
everybody's like different. We dilute the pigment on like tattoos. Tattoos
Yep.
is straight, whatever the color it is from the
Triple
bottom.
black is what I use. Triple black.
And so that's like one of the reasons why someone wants to shave it is if they want to lower the hairline, or if they want to, if the spot in the back is too big and like too open to where you're gonna tell if it's fake.
So you got to keep your haircut short though. Like if I were to get
So in a
SMP,
case like Kevin,
let me see it again.
like my hair
see the back?
grows.
Like in the back, you can get it, like your little thinning in the back.
Yeah.
But it's not and it's not.
But
it's
nothing
not
in the
bald.
front, right?
No.
Because it wouldn't make sense.
No, you would have to buzz cut it to a 0.
And then I would have to keep it at 0 to have like a hairline with SMP for it to make sense.
yeah,
right?
because otherwise you'd have this
Like-
side part, which is SMP, and then hair growing in the middle, and it'd
yeah,
look wild.
that would look crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
But a lot of people, especially if they had hair like that all their life, it's hard for them to let go
yeah,
because it's like
very hard.
They're
You're
used to
holding
that.
on.
But you're not bald, so it's like the only reason why you would need SMP is if like you're a little subconscious about this back here, but your subconscious is
You're
your
making
hairline.
me subconscious about what's going on back there, bro.
But
Kevin, you're a handsome guy, bro. You got nothing to worry about either way. You're
yeah,
handsome.
You're not. Trust me, I can show you some befores of the clients, and it's like, Jesus.
Okay, so let me take some of the attention off Kevin then, since he's feeling insecure. As a guy with a patchy beard,
Yes.
you can do SMP for a beard too, right?
Yes.
Um,
I've done people who don't have beard at all, like legit, no
Shut
beard.
up.
Wow.
And it makes it look like a 5 o'clock shadow.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so for a guy like me, where I've got like I put my good side towards the camera. This side's not too patchy. This side's super thin compared to the other one. But is it sort of the same deal where like, if I were to get SMP on my beard to fill the patchiness, it's not like you would just do the patches. You'd have to do the whole beard, right?
Yeah, because we were blended into where you have like the thicker hair.
Yeah.
So it would be like a gradient effect into where you have the thicker part because you don't need nothing there. It's thick. So
So
like,
would you not do SMP on the thick areas?
No.
So, but then I would have to always have the beard.
Yeah.
You can't go clean shave because then I'm just gonna have
Clean
some
shave.
patches of SMP.
Yeah. No.
Okay,
no more
got
clean
it.
shave. Beard gang for life.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Does like so when it comes to SMP, do people does like an insurance cover that, or is that just straight out of pocket? Is it
No.
something
Yeah. There's
expensive?
no. It's because it's a cosmetic, so it's more.
It's not a medical
Yeah,
need.
it's not a
It's
medical
just
need.
cosmetic.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to find out.
I wish I would have been booming.
Got a patchy in the back, bro. I think.
Okay, so what are some of the worst examples of other like I see you post all the time about like botched hair transplants and
I mean, I post botched SMP too, especially in South Florida here.
yeah.
There's people.
And I mean that's just people who weren't educated properly or just doing bad work.
Like the artist.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's just like you said, you don't need to go to school. You could just go to the
Right. And, okay, so that
pay
2-day
your
class
thing, and then you could just say you do SMP. And that's
you
it.
didn't have to do that 2-day class to get your license, right? That was
Mhm.
just the proper way to do. Just like an artist would, a tattoo artist would get an apprenticeship. You don't have to do that. You can get your tattoo license without it.
Yeah.
You went to the class just to get educated and learn how to do it properly, but it's just a fee that you're paying to get the license, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I recommend 100% everybody to
Yeah.
take a class.
Right. That's where the botch
an
jobs
in-person
come
class. An in-person class, because now there's a whole bunch of online classes you could take.
from. Yeah.
That's cheaper.
Tattoo artists are doing that too.
Online classes.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
I feel like that's good. If you know what you're doing already. You know what
No,
I mean?
for
if,
Extra knowledge.
yeah.
Right,
But it's
right.
just like, for example, if you want to get into knowing how to do more of like a Japanese
A different style.
style,
Right,
like,
right.
you need to do that. Or people who are not so into color, just do black and white, want to get into color. Like I can
No,
see
I
it making
agree.
sense.
I think
Which-
for continued education, it's good for
yes,
sure. But
because
you
in SMP,
need
there's people that doing that as well. Like they're doing how to master hairlines or
Mhm.
how to master this or
Yeah.
how to do a second session or a third session, which is important because when you go to take these classes, you only do it in a first session.
Sure.
So it's like
Yeah, you're
and
not doing the
you
follow-up
could talk about it
appointment.
theory all
Right.
you want, like this and that, but it's different when it's in front of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got a lot of learning in my early days, and even today. I mean, from YouTube. I watched a ton of YouTube videos and other artists talking about their processes and their techniques and the styles that they do. So, I mean, I don't want to dismiss online courses and say that there's no value.
No, there's definitely value, but
But I had to
as-
go to a shop and because I would have questions after watching those videos, like he'll be doing something and I'll be thinking, oh, well, what size needle is he using right now? Or what ink did he just dip the cup in? And you can't ask that live during the video, you could leave a comment, but you may or may not get a response. And
Yeah.
I want the answer now anyway. So it was definitely beneficial to do both, like watch those videos, but then also go down to the shop and ask my mentor, like, these questions that I had from watching hours of videos. So I agree. I mean, I think an in-person,
that didn't exist when I was cutting hair.
huh?
YouTube like that.
Yeah.
Like the amount of information now for barbering,
Sure.
especially on YouTube, is like crazy.
Yeah.
Anything nowadays. I feel
Right,
like
you could learn
learn
anything on YouTube, dog.
on fucking YouTube now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for SMP, you for sure in person, 100%.
You
Or-
offer a course occasionally too, right?
That what?
You've been doing a course.
I've done 2 courses.
Yeah.
My first one I did it in July
Mhm.
of 22 with the Art of SMP, Chris Herrera.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to him, my boy.
Yep.
And
shout out.
Shout out, Chris.
so he's one of the people in the industry that really like I connected with, and he looked out and he answered all the questions like
Yeah.
without hesitation, without like pay me this or whatever,
Sure.
He even let me fly out to Maryland, that's where he's at, and watch him
Watch him work.
free of charge. You know what I
Wow.
mean? And he usually charges $1,000 a day,
Wow.
and I was there for like two
Free
and a half
knowledge
days.
is good knowledge, man.
Yeah, but it's also I feel like if you vibe with people and you see the good intention and like people not plotting or using you.
Yeah.
People sense that, and it's like I legit in these 3 short years of SMP connected with the heavy hitters in SMP. They've been doing it for 10 plus years, done over 10,000 procedures, and I've legit got a relationship with them. And I'm talking about worldwide, so people in Italy and Australia, UK, and obviously here in the United States also. And the lockdown 2020, that's why I dedicated everything to education when it came to SMP. So aside from taking that one course in 2020 in April, I took another one in November. So I spent just in 2 courses alone like over 10 racks.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Because I mean, one of them he hooked it up $4,500. The other one I paid $5,500, and then I got 2 expensive ass machines. And then the second one was like unplanned. It was just like it just happened. So I was going to New York, and that's why I decided to take my second course, because I wanted to stop by and just like shadow them. But they're like, oh, we're actually having a class around that time. If you want to come, there's like 2 more seats available and whatever. I'm like, all right, bet, sign me up. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and the guy, his name is Matt Ayulu. He owns Scott Micro USA. Shout out to him.
Yep.
So he's one of them that's been doing it for like 10, 12 years, something like that. Done over 10,000 procedures, and he has multiple locations. So he's definitely a heavy hitter in the industry. And I feel like now barbers especially, or just people in general, people want to cut to the chase. You know, kind of like how you're saying, like, I want the answer now, whatever. So that's why a lot of people are going, oh, I don't want to spend $5,000. I want to spend just $1,000 for this online course, and I could do it myself.
Right.
Because a lot of people just think that it's just, this is dots.
Right.
You know, but like you said, you have questions with needles. A lot of people don't. Everybody just thinks it's one needle and you're doing dots.
Right.
Like it's more
It
than
should
that.
be easy.
Yeah. Well, how hard can it be?
It's deep,
And
bro. There's so many levels to it.
It's not as crazy, and I had this conversation earlier with this girl. I took my mom to get a consultation for her face or whatever. But it's not as intense as like eyebrows is, or like lip shading and all that stuff, because there you got to use the color wheel and undertones, and you got to do that a little bit with SMP. But not as much as that, like as eyebrows and stuff. Eyebrows, they be putting like 3-4 different colors in it to make it look a certain shade, and to go with your hair color and your skin color and all that stuff. Ultimately, SMP, we're just trying to match the shade when you shave off your head. So pretty much that shade that you have on the side, like when you buzz it down, that's what we gotta replicate.
So for an SMP procedure, is it something like tattoo laser removal that you have to come back for like 4 weeks, or is it like a one-time thing that's on your head?
No, that's a good question, and an important one too. So nowadays, especially here in South Florida, there's a lot of people not price gouging, is price shopping around, right?
Yeah. Tattoos the same way.
So they just call, hey, how much is it per session? You know, or in your case, oh, how much you guys charge per hour? And that's it. Okay, bye.
How much is a sleeve? That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know. What do you want?
It's like, do you have your whole arm?
Right. It'd be like someone saying, hey, how much is SMP? You know, it's like, well, fuck, I don't know. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's a case by case.
Exactly. It's like walking into Publix and going, how much is a cart of groceries? Well, I don't know. What the fuck are you going to get?
How much is a sub? Is like, you want a foot
What do you
long,
want?
6 inch?
Yeah.
You know?
It's not that simple. It's case by case basis.
Sub, because you're a public sub.
Yeah, pubs up. Shout out to the Millennial Mentality merch.
But there's a lot of people shopping around because, you know, people are advertising $300 a session, $400 a session.
Yeah.
And there's people out there saying that, oh, I could do it in 2 sessions or 1 session. If they say they could do it in 1 session, even 2 sessions, that's like stretching it.
Yeah.
I would run far away from that, because SMP done correctly, to make it look the most the realistic and best and last long, you're gonna need a minimum 3 sessions. You know, there's some cases, minimum. There's some cases you could do 2 sessions, like if you're doing a density fill,
like
but not too much. Depends. You know, we would have to see how it like settles and heals. But beards for sure, I've done 2 sessions and it looks good. Because you don't want to overdo it too. Less is more when it comes to SMP. One of the reasons why we do multiple sessions, right, is one, we're dealing with small little dots, right, and we're superficial onto the, we're just going right underneath the first layer of the skin,
Right.
Yeah.
you know. So if those 2 dots are too close together and the pigment we're using is liquid, those can merge and become, you know, you could do blowouts is more if you do like hard pressure.
Right.
With tattoos, you could get blowouts with tattoos also, right?
Hell yeah. You see it all the time.
Okay, so but that's just straight pressure, right?
Yeah, it's someone going too deep in the skin.
Yeah. So that's how blowouts occur. And then with us is like you could create looking like a blowout if you put two dots too closely together, because
They merge.
Yeah.
they merge. Instead of looking like a crisp little dot, it just looked like a big blob.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why. And another reason is we get to see how it settles and heals, and then we can see the color. So, for example, every pigment out there have like their own little color chart. So we dilute it, like I said previously. We would dilute it either with distilled water, or there's different companies out there that have like their own that diluted water, which is distilled water, but with like aloe vera and stuff like that.
Right.
They have that for tattooing also.
Yeah, so I started using that instead of distilled water.
Mm-hmm.
It's pricey as shit, but
Yeah. You see a difference?
no.
Yeah.
But
I like using the fancy stuff too. I use the fancy stuff also.
yeah, but why not? It has aloe vera and witch hazel, which is healing and
Right.
anti-inflammatory.
It's not doing
properties,
any
so-
harm.
Yeah. So like the only difference, like they probably see it. I mean, they can't see a difference either because they don't know how it is.
They wouldn't know what it was like
Yeah.
without it. Right. But maybe it heals
helps.
quicker or easier,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
seamless. Yeah.
But I do see a difference using different pigment brands.
Yeah, for sure.
Which right now I'm using a whole bunch, so I'm not gonna shout out nobody.
Yeah, that's okay.
Until I'm sponsored. Who wants to sponsor me?
Yeah, someone reach out.
There you go. Sponsor the man.
Okay, so we covered, your come up in the barber game. We covered SMP. I think you did a great job explaining that, and it's really interesting stuff, to be honest. But I want to kind of switch gears a little bit and get into just some more like random current events and topics, and get your opinion on them, and have a little bit of a discussion on how we feel about the things going on today.
For sure.
And I think the first one we should start with is maybe like the biggest topics on Instagram right now, and it's the blue checks. We've gotten to this point where now you can just pay a monthly fee to get a blue check. And I couldn't help but notice you got one. It's hard not to notice when we're messaging
there,
back
right?
and forth. The boys checked up. So I guess I want to hear your opinion, and we can have a discussion after that on how you feel about it.
For sure. So obviously, yeah, most of you guys know I got the blue check, and to me, I was talking, to both of you guys about it. It's $15 a month.
Yeah.
Right now, a lot of people is hung up, like you said, like with trust. Like people,
Right.
is hung up with, I can trust this person, or this person must be
Legit.
whatever, or legit, yeah, because he has a blue check, which that's what the blue check is for. It's
Right.
verifying this person, Anthony Baez, is saying that he's Anthony Baez.
Mhm.
Not saying that he's the best SMP artist out there.
Right.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because, Beyonce's verified, and there's people that don't like Beyonce.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
It's just verifying your identity.
yeah. So that's exactly what it is. And as a business standpoint or a creator, that's what we are, an artist, right?
Yep.
It helps, because since people are hung up on the whole trust, or damn, this person, blue check, whatever.
It's
Right.
important.
Yeah. At least for now, right?
Right.
I feel
Right.
like eventually they're gonna give everyone's gonna have the blue checks, but then they're gonna somehow
Make another tier of blue check.
yeah
Like a gold check.
have like a
The
gold,
gold
check or
check,
something,
yeah. Right.
But-
I would agree, because to be honest, 2 episodes ago, I didn't know that you were going to be able to do that, or maybe you could already do it at that time. But our guests
Yeah, I
told
think
us
they
you
they
could.
announced it in February, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I
something like
wasn't
that.
aware of it yet. But as a person who runs my entire business and personal brand on Instagram, when I heard that from this guest, I was like, holy shit, I'm probably going to do that. Because I have a good amount of people that come in to get tattoos, and a lot of them comment saying, damn, you've got a lot of followers, bro. And like that to them subconsciously almost validates my work. Obviously they're looking at my tattoos that I do, and they picked me because they like the work that I do. But I think also as a stranger hitting up this person for their service, it validates you a little bit having like a large following.
It does.
And the blue check, without a doubt, serves that same purpose, So from a business standpoint, I can totally understand why it would be valuable to have it. And that was my initial thought when I saw that it was becoming available. It was like, I'll probably do that because it just validates you, And people have an impression when they see that.
I mean, aside from that, you still get the benefits from it, which the benefits are if you're messaging somebody,
Yeah.
like
You're
your
at the
message,
top.
that and your message is gonna go through, you know,
Yeah.
and also your comments is gonna be one of the first ones
Really?
on there, and everyone's
didn't
gonna
know
see
any
your
of
name.
this.
I need it.
Yeah, Kevin's been having fun going viral with his comments lately. He keeps commenting on No Jumper and getting like hundreds
I'll
and
be getting like
thousands of
500
likes.
or thousands of likes. I'll be random shit.
Just trolling on No Jumper posts.
Bro, I get like 300 replies, 1,000 likes on some random shit.
Yeah, so I've been going ham on the comments and liking and commenting like my colleagues and then other people's stuff and
Right,
because it'll pop up on their
on
feed.
hair transplant doctors crap and on people who are currently going through like minoxidil treatments and stuff like that, and like I've legit got like you said, like hundreds of likes and stuff
You're at the
just
top.
by content. Yeah.
Okay, so that's an interesting point, and that's pretty valuable also.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna continue doing that, but
Yeah.
right now the blue check, you have that. That's that's what it's saying.
The issue that I see with it still now adding value is because now it seems like they did a very, like everyone bought one, so there's people
There's people
who
with,
aren't business owners.
Yeah, like
they've got
100
3 posts and 450 followers, but they got the blue check.
Yeah,
So it almost became like,
to me that's dumb. For people,
course.
the people who have that, you're fucking wasting money. If you have more, if you don't have a life insurance policy,
yeah.
you shouldn't have a blue check.
Yeah.
If you're just a regular, like you fucking work at Dunkin' Donuts or fucking Starbucks,
Right.
you don't have no business, you shouldn't have a fucking blue check.
Right. So
that's
do
just,
you, I
that's
mean,
just,
does
that's
that,
just my opinion.
how long have you had the check for now?
A couple weeks.
Okay, so over the last few weeks, even the last few days, I've seen it a lot where people are, making memes and comments about the blue check and how much money Instagram made that first month or whatever of offering
they
blue
made almost
checks.
like $1 billion.
Something
in a
insane
day.
like
Imagine.
that.
Or $500 million. Or
So
more.
do you-
It was like 660 million.
Aside from, you being at the top of people's messages and comments, do you feel like it devalued the blue check now, or because everyone can have one, it really doesn't verify anything? Because I could make an Anthony Baez Instagram and just pay the money for the blue check.
No.
You can't.
No? Why?
No,
No,
because
he's
it validates that you are who you say you are. Because they either need an ID or a passport.
Oh, so
To
there's a
upload.
process to qualify. You don't
yeah.
just get it if you pay.
No.
Yeah, you can't just upgrade account, hit $15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pay for it. That's what I asked them.
And it's
Yeah.
only for a creator account.
Okay.
Oh,
Like,
really?
business accounts can't do it. Personal accounts can't do it. You need to be a creator.
So
I think
so
I might be a business account, to be
Yeah, you gotta
honest.
switch to the creator.
my whole thing is like, all right, so my name's Kevin, but my Instagram name is Papo Taco, right?
Yeah.
So let's say I get that verified. So I'm Papo Taco with a blue check mark now.
Like your at is at
no, my
Pablo Taco?
at. No, I think is my. I think,
Your at is Papo Taco, yeah.
Yeah, my at is Papo Taco.
But your name on your account
That's
is
fine.
probably
So-
Kevin
so-
Rashid.
Right. So let's say I get that blue check mark, right? Could I change my photo to Elon Musk and then my just my name, not my at, just to like Elon Musk, and now I'm Elon Musk? with
It's
a blue
probably
check
the
mark?
other way around. You might be able to change your at, but you wouldn't be able to change your name.
No. So yeah. So the process is you have to upload like a picture with your face on it, and then you need to upload your ID or your or passport, and then your name needs to be your name on the top on Instagram. Not the at, but where it say where you
Right,
put your name.
your name.
So I had S&P artists. So when people search in S&P or whatever,
That's what it would come
that
up.
would pop
Smart.
up. But it made me change it to my name, to Anthony Baez.
Okay. Well, that actually makes a lot more sense than I thought.
Yeah. So I mean, is it like I was telling Kevin, right?
Yeah.
About it. I mean, the verification is doing his job as before. Is just to verify
Right.
who that person is.
Now
Like
that
if
it's open to the public.
yeah, like if it's Tom Cruise or Beyonce or whatever. Like Beyonce obviously had fan pages and stuff like that. Same thing with Tom Cruise or like posers trying to be either or.
Right.
Is just verifying like, hey, this is the person that they say it is. Which I don't know why people make a big deal buying like, oh, you're paying $15 for a blue check, blah blah blah. It's like, and how many followers did you buy?
Yeah, sure.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like you could clearly you have 20. I'm gonna say more because I literally seen these people 100, 200,000 followers, but then you get 20 likes.
Yeah.
Number don't add up.
Yeah.
Or if you go to their real account and they only got 1,000 real view from like 200. You have 200,000. How you only get 1,000 real
views? Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
We've experienced it quite a bit on the podcast over the years too, where we've had people on who had hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram, and we upload the podcast episode, they'll promote it, and the episode will do the same numbers as every other person.
Yeah.
And then I start to realize, oh, that must not have been real, because
like
if you're promoting it out of your hundreds of thousands of followers and no one extra came to watch it, then when we have someone with 3,000 followers come on, then there's something not right here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the algorithm's been kind of funky.
Yeah.
Like when I posted that I was like on surgery day with my son. He you know, whatever, like that day, everything was like on fire.
Really?
Like my views was like high and up there, and it was just popping.
Yeah.
And then lately it's been like dead. As well.
Really?
So
I've
I'm like,
noticed that too.
oh my,
I
what
would
the
have
fuck?
like a couple hundred views one day, and then the next day it's like 100. It was like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm like
Same time.
Yeah,
just
posting the same thing and whatever, and it's like whatever. But it's just I have noticed like when you take breaks or don't post as much, then it pushes you down.
Yeah, sure.
Damn.
But
They want to incentivize the people that are posting regularly.
yeah. So I am gonna take like not a little. I'm not gonna take a break, but I'm not gonna post something for like a day or two, and then see if it like resets it, whatever. Because it's been kind of
Funky.
A little weird.
Yeah.
But yeah. So aside from that, like people have been faking it until forever, you know,
Yeah.
and then now because you want to buy a blue check, like there's one barber in particular, like he was like, oh my god, like I don't know, should I get the blue check? Like you pay $15, but you don't have a barber license, and this and that, and blah blah blah. Like my nigga, you have 200,000 followers, and you paid for that shit.
Yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean? Like, so it's like, what's the difference on you paying for fake followers than you paying for a verification badge that could help your business?
Right.
200,000 paying 200,000 fake followers, it doesn't do nothing.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the blue check than 200,000 fake followers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then plus aside from that, to get the blue check, you know how much thousands of dollars you had to spend before on
Really?
publications?
What was the process to get it done before?
Publications.
You just had to be like a public.
You had to be
figure?
in the public eye. You had to be in articles. You had to be on press, like on TV. You know how much thousands of dollars that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
And-
people that fake that shit too.
Yeah. So now you could see people who are celebrities, right? So the celebrities, it just says verified. Like if you click their name on top, it just says verified. That means they're fucking
With or
famous.
without blue check?
Huh?
So, all right.
With
so,
or without the blue check, I think you could click on the person's profile and you can see like when they created their profile, where they're based out of,
Right.
and then if it's verified, it tells them it tells you when they got verified, or how even. So if it just says verified, that means they're a celebrity. They're famous, you know. If it says like a specific date, like let's say August 2019, that means they did it the old school way, which you know you had to go back, you know, down and put like request verify. You know, upload, you know, your documents, your ID. That is still the same way. So, but before it was like the same way. You had to upload your ID, you had to upload your name, what you're known for, and then recently, I think a couple years ago, they added like to add links to the website, like for articles and stuff like that.
Right.
And you have to pay to be in articles. You have to pay to be on TV press and stuff like that. You know, your PR and all that stuff. So it's like, what's the difference? It's just $15 a month now instead of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
The only thing is press is going to be more important now, right? So press is going to, I feel like is going to go up in value because it's like legit shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
sure.
Like, I mean, still anybody could, you just got to pay. You just got to know the right people too. But
Yeah.
press is going to go up, and that's going to separate you from somebody else that has the blue check.
Right.
So press is where is that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Palm Beach Post. Even I saw over here that Florida Weekly
Yeah.
Yeah.
down over there. I was like, oh, I didn't even know. I might hit them up. But like,
Yeah.
yo,
Yeah.
trying to get an
How
article.
much an article go for?
Yeah.
Have you seen what Twitter's doing? So, all right. So Instagram, you can pay $15 if you like authenticate yourself and get that blue check mark. But let's say people who had like Beyonce, Tom Cruise, who already had that blue check mark, does it go away?
No, I doubt it.
No, I don't.
Alright,
I mean,
so-
I don't think so.
So Twitter took them away. So Twitter
If they're not paying?
recently, swear to God, look it up. So I'm a Twitter head. I love Twitter. You see a lot.
I never
on
been
Twitter.
on like Twitter. Like I have
I've gotten an
but
account, but I never tweet.
I
Yeah.
know. I don't tweet. I use it for news, sports. You'll see some titties in there here and there, but. Bro, Twitter's an open world. Ever since Elon Musk like took over, like I've been really like more on it, and
So they took everyone's check away, and now
Yeah,
you have to pay to have one?
Yeah. So like
Wow.
I remember I was seeing Tyreek Hill. He plays wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins. He's like, I'm not paying for that, and it was like
Yeah.
I gave him a deadline. I think it was like 4 days ago or something, and now none of them have a check mark.
It's funny because, I mean, I almost feel him, you know, if you're an actual celebrity that people, you know, you've already got your following, it's not like they're taking your followers away and you have
He's
to
got
start
5
over.
million followers.
No one's questioning if he is who he is. He doesn't need the clout of the blue check. He's got plenty probably
Right.
already to be satisfied.
I mean, LeBron James said
He-
the same thing for Instagram. He's like,
Yeah, what the fuck LeBron James need to pay for a check for? He
got
doesn't
his
care.
removed too.
From Instagram or
from
Twitter?
From
Yeah,
Twitter.
well, everybody did, I guess. But that's interesting. But I also sort of side with the celebrities for saying, fuck that. I don't really care because I've got the clout.
They got nothing to
Yeah.
prove.
Yeah.
I feel like people like you said they put the mentality of like when they see that blue check like trust and like
Yeah,
oh,
sure.
hype. But I mean, look at OfferUp. OfferUp does the same thing. Like it
Really?
Really?
verifies that
The
you
seller?
saying who you say you are. You know,
Right.
because people have died off of.
No,
OfferUp,
that's
you know what I
probably
mean?
a pretty important one.
Yeah, so it's like you have to verify who you are with like your numbers and like your Facebook. If you add your Facebook profile and all that stuff,
Right.
like it verifies you saying that you are.
That's
So
That's a good one.
For Instagram and Twitter, it's just I guess like another layer of protection. You know what I mean? Because it's like you're saying that, like imagine if someone were to go on Twitter, since you're not so active on Twitter, and then they do a Twitter saying that they're you.
Yeah, right.
How hard would it be for you to be like, hey, that's not me, this is me? You know
Without
what I
it
mean?
being verified.
Right.
Yeah.
That's valid.
So
Yeah. I see it a lot in the tattoo industry. Whenever like an artist does a giveaway, you know, and it'll be like, you know, share this post, comment 3 friends.
yeah, I'm doing that right now.
So that's when I see a lot of fake accounts pop up for those artists. When people do those giveaways, there's scammers out there that will then make a duplicate account for that artist, change one letter in the
Like,
name.
hey, you won, but you need to send us $100 gift card.
Right,
to
exactly.
save your
You
spot.
won, and we'll send you your prize, but we need you to send us this. Or even sometimes it might be like personal information, like send me a picture of your license, and I don't know how the scam works,
Yeah.
but that's when I see it. Is like I've seen it happen to Mills and Tattoos by Michael. When they do those giveaways, all of a sudden they'll be posting, "This is not my account. Report this one." You know, so I can see the value in the verification now that I realize it's actually a verification. I
Yeah.
just thought if you paid $15, you could get it.
Oh no.
Yeah,
it's
like,
very,
just-
they
Well, that's good.
verify.
I'm glad it still actually serves the purpose.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that.
And it's only available, I believe, in like Australia, New Zealand, and United States.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like
That's
it was first started to test out and rolled out like in Australia and New Zealand, and then the United States became available, and that's when all hell
Interesting.
broke loose.
Okay, I got another one I want to talk about. Florida just passed the permitless carry. I know I've seen you go to the range a few times.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on July 1st? I think you're gonna, or June 1st maybe. You're gonna be able to just carry a gun without a permit now.
It's the same shit. You still need to get a background check.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
No, you need to get a background check still
For what?
for the
It's-
gun.
So
Like
you can buy a gun privately without a background check. You go to a gun show, there's no background check. I bought guns privately without background checks.
I mean, if you buy it,
In Florida, you can
Yeah,
do
but
a
let's say
private
if
sale.
you get
Let's
caught
say-
with it, you'll get fucked.
Yeah.
No.
Like, let's say- no,
that's
no.
not true.
if you get a gun that's stolen or
Sure,
or
yeah,
got
if
a
it's
case,
stolen,
you'll
yeah.
you'll be fucked.
But if you go on gunbroker.com and find a local person, you guys are allowed to meet up in a Publix parking lot and do the sale as long as there's a bill of sale involved. But you don't have to do a background check or any of that.
Really?
And it's not illegal. I mean, obviously, if the gun is stolen or it's an illegal gun, then yeah, that's a problem. But
So
you
how
can
would
do a
you know
private
if the
sale.
gun's stolen or not?
Maybe technically you wouldn't.
Okay.
But like when I did it, I bought it off some old guy. I mean, it also very well could have been a sketchy gun because it did have Detroit Police Department engraved on the slide. But again, that's not saying every
And
gun
Detroit's
in
the
a
safest city in the world, right?
yeah, it's so true. It might have been a shady gun.
gun got
I don't have it
bodied,
anymore,
bro.
by the way. If any cops are watching, I don't have that gun anymore.
ATF, we don't
I
got
also
it here.
sold that in a private sale as well. But I mean, just as an example, if I wanted to sell Kevin my gun that I've had, you know, I don't have to run his background check. We just do a bill of sale, and in Florida, you're allowed
Alright,
to.
so-
You can gift someone a gun in Florida.
All right, so my whole thing
I mean, it's the
is
same thing like how it is now then.
But now the difference is, to get your concealed weapons permit before, you would have to do a training course, the background check, and get
Not really.
approved.
I didn't take no training course. I just took the class.
Yeah, that's the training course.
Well, I didn't go to a physical location.
You're
I don't
supposed
think-
to.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, you're supposed to
You
go
probably got it during
shoot.
COVID, huh?
You're supposed to
Nah,
go to
I-
a range and shoot.
I'm 31. I have my license for 10 years now. At 21, I got my license. I
But-
have owned a pistol since 18.
Yeah, so I heard like
Well, you're all in Florida?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be 21.
To buy it from a store.
Okay, that's what we just talked about. Then. You don't necessarily have to go through the same process.
Yeah, but the same thing, you know, like is like.
So did you get a background check at 18 when you got that pistol not from a store?
No, okay, I got it from somebody.
Exactly. That
But
was the
like-
point
like
I was
the-
just making.
Like the bill of sales and stuff like that. Yeah, but it's like it's the same thing. How it
Alright,
is
so
now.
my-
So
my
you
whole
got a gun
thing-
with no background check.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so my whole thing is, if he had this gun with no background check,
Right.
he gets pulled over.
Yeah.
The laws when it's fucking August, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Gets pulled over. The laws in effect. Does he get in trouble because that gun registered to him? Can they trace it to
No,
him
in
that
Florida,
it's his gun?
in Florida, no guns is registered to nobody.
Oh, okay.
Like other states.
Right.
The information you give to the store is only solely purpose for that store. It doesn't go to the ATF. It doesn't go to the government.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now
I found that out recently.
concealed weapons permit in
Interesting.
Florida is irrelevant now because anyone can just walk
So you have your
outside their
medical
house with a
card
gun.
now, and a gun.
Yeah, that as well.
And a what?
You could always do that, actually. It was just
What?
a myth that you could have a medical marijuana card and a concealed weapons permit.
That was a myth.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
you're
could-
allowed to have both.
It was just I think it was like you had to get one before the other.
That
type
was a
of thing.
myth, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought for a long time, but you're allowed to have both.
So, but with this new bill in order, it's not like Florida's the first one either. I think
No.
we're the 26th state.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, something like that.
Shit,
But
fucking
I'm not
Texas-
worried about
people
it.
have
Texas-
mixed-
Texas is.
People have mixed opinions now because, and I'm not saying that I'm on this side of the fence, but there are people that don't like it. I just had a client in here with his family the other day, and they were clearly against it because they're saying, well, now there's people walking around who have no training with a gun, and that's dangerous because even if they, go to use the gun, they may not know what the fuck they're doing or how to safely, a girl could just be throwing a pistol in her purse with no holster, or like the process before at least made it so that you had to have some sort of training with a firearm before you could get the concealed weapons permit. Which, I mean, for me personally, I had to go to a shooting range, learn how to shoot, which, I mean, I had already shot before, but at least there's an instructor there teaching you, like, gun safety and how to reload a gun, and you never pointed it and, put your finger on the trigger. All the little safety things that might go in one ear and out the other. You could go to the course and not learn shit, but at
Yeah.
least there was some formality of, like, education
effort.
behind it,
Yeah.
where now I can give my girlfriend my gun and be like, you're coming home from work late at night from the bar, put this in your purse. And she doesn't know how the fuck to use a gun, but she's
So-
allowed to legally carry it.
So is it people who are over 18 or over 21? Like, is there an age for that, or do you know?
I would assume, I don't think the pistol law changed. It's probably over 21.
Okay.
How do you feel about it, though? Do you think it's
Me
good?
personally, I'm sort of biased in the sense of, for that reason I just said, I've always wanted JoJo to carry her gun after work because she bartends till like 4 o'clock in the morning and walks a mile to her car in downtown West Palm through some sketchy areas to
Same
get
with
to
my
her
girl.
parked car. And I've been telling her since before this was passed, like, just fucking carry it anyway. Like, you don't ever use it. Don't ever tell anyone you've got it on you. Don't show it to anyone. But if someone's about to fucking mug you, I want you to have it, whether it's
Yeah.
legal for you to have it or not, And she's just too scared to, like, break the law like that. So I'm sort of glad it passed because now JoJo can take her gun to work. But I do understand the side of the argument where, like, now you could just have people that don't know how to handle a gun. But it's not like that's really any different, Like,
I mean, I've taken. So I started this year, taking courses
Yeah.
Like legit courses, like not like going to
Like shooting
the
courses?
range. Yeah.
Okay.
And the instructor, the guy I've been going to, he's an active SWAT member,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all he fucking does is like fucking shoots, dry fires and shoots, and
Yeah.
Right.
that's all he does. He's fucking badass.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've had a pistol since 18,
Yeah.
and I've got my conceal since 21,
Mm-hmm.
and boy, do I need practice.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
That's
You
a
know
good
what I mean?
point
You're
too.
seeing that 10 years later, man.
Yeah, so back in the day, I was like heavy into the, like I was somewhat good, like I'll tell my boy, oh watch, I'm gonna hit that right there, like the little,
Yeah.
like we were circling, like, boop, poof, bang,
Yeah.
shit, okay, but you know I was dealing with a full size pistol, but now I'm working with my small pistol because that's what I carry, that's
Mhm.
more ideal
Yeah.
to do, you know, and the small pistols, they're like harder to control, and like
Yeah.
really you got to find your grip and all that stuff. So I've been working on it, you know, trying to really, like, if I'm gonna have it, like, so his whole like slogan is like be an asset.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm trying to be an asset, you know. So I'm trying to,
Sure.
if I'm gonna have it,
You
to
wanna
know how to use it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I took 2 courses. One of them was the rifle course, and the other one, which was like a 3-hour like slot, and like I legit, it was like me, him, and like everybody else like was like mostly cops.
Yeah.
So he trained cops and stuff like that. So he does like strictly only like LEOs. So what does the LEO stand for? Law enforcement. No, Leo.
I don't know.
Law. I know it's
No.
law
Enforcement.
Enforcement.
enforcement officer. Yeah, law enforcement officer.
Oh, Leo.
Yeah, Leo.
Yeah, yeah. Law enforcement officer.
Yeah, so Leo's, so he does like only Leo's classes, so it's like only for law enforcement, and then the other ones are open for both.
Mhm.
But most of the time, like the second course I took was a pistol. That was 8 hours.
Damn.
We're out in fucking Indian Town, fucking out, nigga.
Outside?
Huh?
Outside or in a range?
No, outside. That was
Yeah,
my
I want
first
to go
time.
shoot outside.
Yeah,
Seems like a better
But
experience.
his thing was like really dope. Like I really like that class. Like, I want to take it again, but he doesn't do it
Nice.
all the time. But he has you practice like different distances, different shots. He'll be like, you know, 1 shot here, 2 shots there,
Mhm.
and then you know we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, and then like 1, 2, 3, and then 1,
Yeah.
2, 3. You know, the bah, bah, bah. So it's like, you know, so it's like different techniques like that, and then he partners you up with a partner. The partner's supposed to like make like the gun jam, and you're supposed to like know how to do all
Learn
that,
this.
get to it, and shoot your
Right.
target. You know.
That's
and-
all really good stuff. And I
Yeah.
think that is what makes you an asset when you're out in public and in a situation where you may ever need to use it. But I guess that's also the argument for the people that don't like the change is like, you are well qualified to have your gun on you. And there might be some people who have no idea what they're doing. And if there is something going on, there's a guy with a gun over there, they don't want some... I don't want to use the example girl because it's not like just girls don't know how to use guns. But some guy who has no training just pulls his gun out and starts shooting, who has never shot a gun in his life, but he bought one and wants to carry it.
Yeah.
He might hit an innocent civilian because he doesn't know what he's doing. And
Yeah.
again, this isn't actually my stance on things. I'm just
Oh, yeah.
playing devil's advocate for the
Yeah.
sake of the conversation.
But I feel like even like before, like let's say before my training, like there was years that I took off from like going to the range and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you
Obviously-
still carried your gun.
Huh?
Did you still carry your gun? Even
Yeah.
during-
Well, sometimes
yeah.
I'm not like 100% on it like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Like how most people would be, but it's around me
Yeah.
most of the time. Right now I don't have it on me, it's in my car, but
Yeah.
I feel like before, if you carry a gun and you don't go to the range at all, like not even once a month,
Yeah.
you're not an asset, and you're, you know, if you pull it out,
You're a
you
liability.
yeah, you might think you know how to use it, or you might, you know, you don't know how you are under pressure.
Yeah.
And mind you, I'm
100%.
learning all this from me taking his classes, you know,
Yeah.
because he did a very, very valid point to the officers, and he's like, bro, you're supposed to be a professional officer, and you're not practicing every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're supposed to be practicing, whether it's you know, at a range or dry firing, at least dry firing 30 minutes a day, practicing, because you're supposed to be a professional officer. Like how are you in this industry and not like you don't know how to aim or do
Use
certain
your
things
tools.
or or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like,
100%.
damn. It's like, damn, like cops should get more trained. You know, cops are really getting like in 6
Yeah,
months, boom,
yeah.
get out of here.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And they almost hired Kevin.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him.
That
was a
fucked
callback.
up.
This is the last point I'll make about it. In the opposite argument, the thing I do like about it is if I were a criminal that were gonna go do some fuck shit real quick, I'm gonna think twice about doing it now because every person in Publix could have, or in that gas station or in that bank, has every right to have a gun on them now.
Yeah.
Where before, knowing how much of a process it was, and you know, you don't walk into a place assuming everyone has a gun necessarily. But now, knowing that everyone is just allowed to leave the house with a gun and it's not a crime, I would think twice about doing a crime with a gun and giving someone a reason to be able to shoot at me. You know, 100%. Knowing that when you walk in any building, every person in there is allowed to carry a gun. That would deter me from doing a crime with a gun, you know, because I'd be thinking any person in this room is going to get me, you know, unless I'm willing to literally body everyone in the room. But I think there's a lot of people doing crimes with guns that don't actually want to shoot anyone. Yeah. They just think the gun's going to get them what they want.
Yeah.
But like knowing that everyone else around you might also have one and now is justified to shoot you in Florida, I'd think twice.
Yeah. Like my personal opinion, like with guns, is like you could go somewhere and like for example, let's say Cuba, right? Sure. It's a communist country, right? I'm pretty sure people have guns in Cuba. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to find a way, just like how criminals here find a way to get a dirty gun or whatever the case may be. If I was in control, I would still have people, you know, having to apply for a permit, you know, whole background check, and you take a course. Yeah, for sure. Like, at least a basic safety course, you know? Right. At least implementing it, like, yeah, you can't control, like, if you get it, like, third party, you know, like, if I were to sell you a gun, you sell me a gun, you can't control that, but control, at least at the store, make it a store rule, like, okay, you're buying a gun, you got to wait your week, but then, you know, come in for training or whatever, you know what I mean? Right. I feel like that should be a thing, you know what I mean? Because people do need training because, I know somebody, I'm not going to name drop or nothing, how he's related to me or whatever, but he doesn't have his concealed. Yeah. And he carries a lot. Mm-hmm. He carries more than me. Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? And you're like, how are you carrying like so much? You know what I mean? Right. Which I do have one incident that happened to me when I was like 18, 19, when I didn't have my license. I'm gonna talk about it after now. Okay. So he doesn't even have a full holster like how he's just
tucking it in his waistband?
No, he has the one that like it's like a slim one. It just covers the
trigger guard,
the trigger, and then that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, that's like the most stupidest fucking holster I've ever seen. Yeah. I mean, one is that it looks uncomfortable. Yeah. And it just looks stupid. But he says that he's used to normally carrying it with that, and he had the gun in his pocket, and he forgot he had took it out and cocked one because he went to a gas station at like late at night and it was sketchy. And he said when he got home, he grabbed the gun from his pocket, and I guess he pulled the trigger. It was a Glock, so there's no safety or nothing. No so he said the bullet went off, and it hit. It went through like to the neighbor's house and everything. Oh. And he said that the neighbor said he was eating or whatever, and he said that the neighbor like heard it or some shit like.
Right by him.
Yeah, right by.
Oh right my god, bro!
I was like, yo, I was like, you know.
That's why you need training.
Yes. Yeah. And then I was like, bro, you know, like you fucking like you could be in jail right now.
That could have been so bad,
bro. So he told his dad, you know, whatever, and his dad's like, oh, call the cops before they do. So he called the cops. The cops came. Nothing happened.
It's a good thing he was in his house, because in your house you don't have to have a permit. Obviously you're not allowed to shoot the gun. No, yeah. But you're not in trouble for having a gun on you in your house. Yeah, in Florida.
But nothing happened to him. He said that he told the cops that he was cleaning it, and the cops were
story.
Like, huh?
That's a good excuse in that scenario.
I guess.
I mean, really. It's better than saying I pulled it out of my pocket because I just came from the gas station without my permit. You know, that's the best thing he could have said was I was cleaning it.
So yeah, he said he was cleaning or whatever, and the cops like they laughed because like, oh yeah, I've been there before, and I've done that.
I know a cop. Again, not going to say any names either, but he was cleaning his gun and blew one of his fingers off because he didn't clear it first. And that's a cop who has training.
Well, he's supposed to have
right
training. Because cops, they don't.
They don't get reoccurring
They
training.
have
No,
training.
because
but
bro,
not
I've seen the
professional
cops
training.
in the rifle class and also the pistol. I was just like, you guys are fucking cops. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a little scary.
yeah. I mean, the cop, my partner, he was a cop. He's a sheriff, Palm Beach. He covers like Belle Glade. That nigga was he was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was nasty. He was.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. But he was like, out of everybody, he was probably like one of the top ones.
Yeah.
And he just had his Glock issued fucking
Service gun.
service gun. But I mean, Palm Beach Sheriff, they got a high budget, so his is like all decked out. He had I think he had a Hollow Sun red dot, which most I think people, because there were a lot of people from Miami, there cops in the Rowan area, and they were all just like, you got a red dot?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we got a big budget up here.
No, they got
Red
money
dot makes a
over
big difference, bro.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And hell yeah, all my guns got red dots.
Yeah. Same.
Like my carry, my nightstand, my short barreled AR, which I'm waiting to see what the ATF's gonna do.
Yeah,
with
same. I may or may not have one of those as well, and I'm waiting to see how that whole thing plays out because
Yeah.
I'm not happy about the way that.
that. Hell no, because I mean it's stupid. Like
It's stupid. Yeah.
supposedly it's gonna drop.
I hope
Hopefully
so.
it
That's what I've been banking on because I haven't filed nothing.
Yeah.
Because I may or may not have one. I might cut that whole shit out.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more thing I want to talk about, kind of on a lighter note. And maybe kind of funny. If you're sitting at a light, right, in traffic, and the light turns green, and there's someone in front of you, how long are you waiting before you honk at that person if they don't go forward?
3 seconds. 3 full seconds. If I see no sign of movement,
Yeah.
Depends what light we're talking about. Because there's some light that be.
Well, it depends.
You
on-
know it's a quick
Yeah,
light.
it's like, yo, motherfucker.
that's facts. That's a
Yeah.
good point.
It also depends what car it is. You know, if it's a pickup truck, they have a gun in them. So, so I'm not honking. If it's a Civic,
That's a good point, too. Now you don't know anymore, though. Everyone might have a gun on
Yeah,
them. You
everybody-
really got to
I'm never
assume.
honking again.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because also, too, I think if I do honk after that 3 seconds, I'm not laying on the horn. It's a quick, just like beep, you know,
Yeah.
like a quick little
Like, get off your
reminder.
phone,
Hey,
buddy.
time to go. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And sometimes you can see right through the back window. You
Yeah.
can see that they're looking down
Yeah.
or they're fucking off. So you just give them a little love tap, you know? Beep.
Right.
That's a good point. Your intentions of your honk are important, I think.
Yeah, because
For sure.
motherfuckers.
Bam!
Where
Yeah,
they go?
fucking
Get that,
assholes
bro.
about
You-
it, dude.
I've
Yeah,
gotten-
when people do that to me and the light, like I'm legit like I'm like paying attention not on my phone, which
Yeah.
is it's rare for
That's the
everybody
worst.
nowadays.
Yeah, right.
Like I'm legit like just waiting for the light, and that shit just turned green. Those motherfuckers be beep. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, this shit just changed. Like,
Yeah. I'll sit there
you're
longer.
focusing on the other lights. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
you
sit-
do that to me, I'm gonna inch forward and then stay there for
Yeah,
a minute.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro.
That may or
come
may
on.
not be the right thing to do, but I can't fucking help it. I hate when someone honks
Especially
at me like
nowadays,
that.
right? Everybody has guns too.
Yeah, no, that's
Right.
why I'm not
Well, that's a
honking
good point
anymore.
too. It's just honking in general. I feel like you almost got to be careful because like road rage is fucking real. You know,
Oh,
you
yeah.
honk at the wrong person, and they will fucking follow you to your house. You know, over just
Yeah.
a simple little honk like that. Some people take it too serious,
Yeah.
and everyone might have a gun.
There's been a few cases that I just want to like put down my window and like especially like the not using your blinker.
Oh my god,
I'm like, bro, how like
it gets me so pissed.
how hard is it to? It's right there. Your
Dude.
hands are there already. You know what I mean?
Dude.
Like,
I used to be like that, and then I lived in Mexico, and then I come back to drive here. I'm like, it's so much better here. People there don't even stop for like red lights.
Yeah, but this isn't Mexico, dog. We should all be using our blinkers and stopping at the red lights.
Bro, just go. There's no speed limits.
Yeah.
Red lights, it's like a stop sign. You know, like it's just everyone's
and
just on your
I'm
own.
Dominican and DR's the same shit.
Yeah. So
JoJo
you-
just
It's
went
funny.
to Argentina and she
They be
said she
going-
thought she was gonna die when every
Every
time they
car
got in the
ride.
car. Yeah.
They be going at red lights and stopping at green lights. I don't know why. But.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that brings me to my next question then. If you're the front of the line and you're sitting at a red light and it's been red for way too long, like you just saw it skip a cycle, you know, like people got the green light
I
twice.
go.
How long are you waiting before you're just running the red light?
I do one cycle.
One cycle, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're paying attention to the other lights,
Yeah,
right?
I'm like, yo, what the?
Yeah.
Like, hold on.
I have 4 red light tickets, so Seriously, bro. And I've only gotten like 5 tickets in my life. Dude.
Yeah.
I've
So
gotten
you're a
pulled
red light
over.
runner.
Yeah, I've run red lights every night. I'm gonna run a red light home tonight for sure.
Well, Ant, bro, I want to thank you for coming in, man. That was a really a fun episode, I think, and it's cool the insight that you have, and like, you know, it just shows how much you've been hustling your whole life. You know, from a young age, you've been getting after it, which is it's admirable, and I think it's paid off, bro. Between the awards from the Barbershop, the success that you've had so quickly in your SMP career, and the success that I'm sure you'll continue to have as the years go on. I've got no doubt. So, you know, I want to thank you for coming on, and thank you for sharing your story. And we're going to put all your links down below for your Instagram. We'll link the Barbershop. Make sure you guys go follow Ant. And if you're in the South Florida area, tap in with Exclusive Barber Lounge, because it's literally the best in Palm Beach County.
Damn right.
For sure.
Palm Beach Post has said so 3 years in a row.
4.
4 years in a row. So yeah, man, thank you so much. Anything else you want to plug or anything before we get out of here?
Nah. I mean, the only thing is I will add on with SMP or tattoos, right? Since we're both in the industry.
Sure.
Do your research.
Yeah.
And don't go with the price. Go with the artist's work, and that's it.
Well said.
Get it done right the first time. You know?
Yeah, right. 100%.
Just like construction, right? How many jobs you had to fix?
A lot. That's basically what remodels are too. Sometimes just fixing someone else's fuck up. Or,
Yeah.
Well said, man. I think I couldn't agree more. And again, I just want to thank you for coming on, bro. It was a really fun episode.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of The Millennial Mentality. It's your boy Pete with Papa Taco and Anthony Baez. Peace.
Later.
I've been outside getting money, I'm on my thug again. Tryna stack a little dub, tryna catch a win. And next time I drop a coupe, it's gonna be a twin turbo. Always been a G, but I ain't never been a herb though. Way I'm switching lanes.